So we've probably all seen by now that currencies and Path of Exile is going absolutely crazy. So Exiles, I've got a video for you showing you the best way to track what is trending, what is going down, what is going up in the market. Literally, this website is something that you need. I did it on my website video, but a lot of you obviously might not have seen that. And in this video, I'm going to be bringing to you that website showing you the fluctuation in the market for where you could potentially buy currencies that are going up or trending up, uniques, whatever it may be, that is definitely increasing in the market for you to take advantage of and make yourself some serious coin. So without further ado, let's jump over to the website. Oh, wait. Are you not subscribed? Have you not joined the Discord or the Twitch? Links in the description. Let's go, baby. So the website I'm going to be showing you is this one right here, Poe2 Scout. As you can see at the top, it's poe2scout.com. Let's take a look at what this website has to offer. Now, it has got builds, and I'll go over this part first, but this is not the main reason we're on this website. We're on this website to show you what is trending in the market for you to make the maximum amount of return. So if we go over to the build section, just to show, it basically gives you a stat which shows you what is the most played class in the game and what is the least played class in the game to help you get a better understanding as to what class you should probably go for if you want to become OP, or maybe you want to challenge yourself and you can go and use yeah. So anyway, heading back to the main site and going over to the market, this is the part that I really want to display to you. So everything that we're seeing here along the right hand side of the screen is a representation of what is happening in the market with the items displayed over on the left. As we can see, we've got currencies, ultimatums, breach, deliriums, essences, fragments, and much more. But this is nuts. As we've been seeing, we've been looking at exalts compared to divines. Divines originally were going for like, what, when the game started, 60 exalts. Now it is going to be a good representation that the market is going up, but 300 exalts for one divine is absolutely absurd. Now, we want to try and capitalize on this and make as much money back. Hello there. But like I said, exalts is definitely not going to make us much currency nowadays. Or could they? So right now in the in-game market, exalts are currently sitting at 270 exalts for one divine, and we did know that yesterday they went up to about 305. If I go to pull up my screenshots by looking here, share recent capture, and then I go and pull it up when it decides to load, we can see that I took a screenshot yesterday where it's at 304 exalts for one divine. Now, I've noticed on the trend that exalts or the divine goes up a lot on the weekends because there's a lot more people playing and the demand is a lot greater. So you could, for one, buy divines during the week and then on the weekend sell them for exalts, and then when it comes back to the week, flip them exalts back to the divine. Now, but that is too risky. That is one thing that chancing might not be the best thing to do. Now, there is other methods out there where you could use this market and make a lot of money. As we can see, we've got a divine orb, and then if we were to go over to certain things like, I don't know, let's just say simulacrum, or if we go to something that actually is worth more, if we go perfect jeweler's orb, that's worth 1.9 divines to one perfect jeweler orb. So in theory, what you could do is where most people are missing out because they're going, oh, I can't get a perfect jeweler's orb, so I'm going to go and give 2 divines for one perfect jeweler orb. What you could do is you could go ahead and give 19 and then go ahead and buy 10. Then you could go and relist that. So I'm going to have to go up a little bit more, which is not something I wanted to do. When it goes down to 190, and then I could, once I've got the perfect jeweler orbs, I can go ahead and then try and sell them again, 20, let's say, for 10. So I could actually go and make divines back, which is a pretty good way of doing this. And you can look for market trends where it's more like 1.4 divines to one perfect jeweler orb, or whatever it may be. That's one thing, but that's still, yet again, not a concrete way of doing it. What we really want to be doing is buying things now that we see on an upward trend, so eventually they will make us more. It might be a case of sitting onto things, but if we do look at the cost of perfect jeweler orbs, they're at 498. If we look at what that was yesterday, how do we do that? Well, we go back over to Poe2 Scout, and now we're back on Poe2 Scout. Here we can see that the perfect jeweler's orb is this one right here. Yesterday it was sitting at 475 and it's gone up to 498. It's shown at 490. At one point it went up to 569 exalts for one perfect jeweler's orb that we can currently buy. It's gone up to 498. that is pretty significant, knowing that we can constantly, if we purchase a lot of these and they are going up, we could flip our money. The negative about this website is it doesn't really show a long-term growth. It shows you what's happening within the past 24 hours to 48 hours. Not a lot that we can really see and see the actual full growth. But if you keep on this daily, it will give you an idea as to what is going on. We're seeing things that are declining. So we're seeing Mirrors of Calandras, still not really worth it when it comes to Exalts, but it's going to be 475 Divines, and or if we were to look at Exalts, at one point they were 158 and now they're 127, so it definitely has gone down. But we're really here trying to catch out what is growing massively, where we can really take advantage. Now, the way we do that is by actually looking at the percentage here. On the side, we've got the wiki and we've got the trade, so we can go straight to the trade site. So when we see something that's working properly, we can go ahead and hit the trade. It takes us straight over to the trade site, which is great, and it takes us to where we can go ahead and buy them right from the Path of Exile trade. So it's really good. What you get, what you pay, bam. Coming back and looking at the site, you can also hit the wiki, and by hitting the wiki, it can explain a bit further about what said item is, whether it's unique, whether it's a currency, completely up to you, but it's going to give you a better explanation. So if you see a unique climbing up on the market and you go, why is it climbing up? What makes it so special? Well, why don't you have a little read up about it on the wiki? And then you might understand, damn, this might be something I want to buy now, because it's going to be something I'm going to be incorporating into my build when I've got the right build set up. Now, yet again, we were looking at Mirrors of Calandras. How they've dropped by 19.5% is quite a lot. But that's not a currency that we really want to be sitting on, because it's quite dangerous to be jumping in a market with only a quantity of 11. We want something that's got quite a lot in the market and we see an upwards trend. So here, for instance, we've got the Gem Cutters Prisms. They were 1 day, 12 hours ago at 1.9 exalts. They're currently sitting at 5 exalts in the game. So it has had a massive increase, and as we can see here, 167.6%. Yet again, everything that you purchase is at your own risk. Do not blame me if you end up losing money. You shouldn't, because technically everything in the game is going to have growth, and you're constantly going to be making money out of what you've got, whether it's minuscule or a lot. The normal thing that you don't make too much coin out of is typically uniques. Why? Because well, the ones that are getting found out and that are becoming meta builds, they will go up. But the ones that are like the Ingenuity belts, they're actually going down because more people are now getting them. Less people actually need them. The higher tier ones, now they still have a need, but the lower tier ones have dropped significantly in price, and you can buy a Ingenuity belt for around, I don't know, 3 divines for a really poor one. And you're looking around the 10 divine mark for a half decent one, over 60%. So yet again, I digress, and I'm going to be showing you what I think is a good purchase. So this is something that does not make sense to me. If we look at the Orb of Augmentation, it's gone up by 8,900%. It is flipping flying up, and it makes 0 sense why it is now so expensive, because at one point a day ago they were, well, it says 0 exalts, but it was 0.1 exalts. Now they're sitting at 1 exalt. Let's double check that, because that doesn't seem right to me. Why are people buying them in bulk? If we go to Orb of Augmentation and we go for Exalted Orb, we can get 171 for one. Anyway, let's not look at the pennies. We want to make the pounds. But pennies do make pounds. So in terms of currency, something that has a really steady grow is what we're seeing here, the Vow Orbs, the third one up. That's got a 99.3% increase. It's now at 0.5 for one, and it was yesterday at 0.2, but it's slowly creeping up. So Vow Orbs might eventually become for a 1-to-1 ratio when it comes to exalts. Might be something that you want to purchase. One thing that I'm going to be doing, as we can see the quantity on the market, there's so many Regal Orbs, it's not really the greatest thing to invest in, because that means a lot of them drop. We want to look for something that's not got too much, but definitely has enough. And we want to start investing in them. Why? Because, like I said, everything should go up, or it might go down. But as the game goes on and on and on, people are going to be crafting a little bit more, meaning they're going to want more crafting materials. So the beauty of it is, if we own them crafting materials, and why the inflation happens, we should be able to hold on to it just for a little bit, not too long, and then flip them at the end of the week, at the end of the month, and make a good amount. Now, this is definitely not the best way of making currencies. This is just a way for you to understand what's going on with the market. And if you are a little bit more savvy and you definitely do know how stocks and shares work, I know this is Path of Exile 2, but you should definitely, Exiles, be able to make an advantage with it, or take an advantage of it. One of them. So I'm guessing the best way to understand this, as it's coming towards endgame, when you're at endgame, what do you need, or what do you need to prioritize in order to be able to make your build better? Well, as we can see here, by looking at a trend, we can see that the gem cutters prisms have gone up by 167%, and at one point they were selling for 5 exalts. Why have they gone up so much? Well, a gem cutter prisms, just by hovering over it, we can see right clicking this item and then left click a skill gem to apply it. The maximum quantity is 20%. So as you would upgrade your armor with armor scraps or anything like that, this does the same, but with your gems. And as we come into end game, we're going to be min-maxing our builds, and with min-maxing our builds and constantly changing items, we're constantly going to be buying stuff like this and putting it onto our items. Now, as I did mention, more people are going to be farming, so the more farming that happens, the more of these that drop. So it doesn't go up too fast. It might even go down, it might even go up, but looking at the current trend with it going up and down, if it's sitting at its lowest point at 1.5, and that was yesterday, and now its lowest point is at 2 exalts, the market is definitely going up, and there's definitely a penny to be made here. Then we got the likes of the Chaos Orbs, which is just above it, which are currently sitting at 7 exalts per Chaos Orb. Yesterday they were sitting at 5.9 up to 6, and this has stayed flat. This is definitely a trend in the market we want to see. Something that's either peaking or something that's flatlining, but also going up slowly in small increments. The reason that this is good, because then we know that it's a good investment. Here we go, by clicking on it, we can see up to a week ago, and we can see up to a month ago what has been happening. And recently it's been going up quite a flipping lot. Now, going up to the whole 3-month chart, we can see that that is increased hugely, which is really flipping good to note. And expanding on them, if we were to look at the Divine Orbs, this one is definitely going to be a shocker. If we go to 3 months, we can see that it started at 1x. People managed to buy them on the 18th of December for 1 exalt. And now it has gone all the way up to 299.7 exalts per Divine Orb. Just a week ago, they were at 145. Now they're sitting at 300. So they've doubled in value in just 1 week. Now, have they doubled in value, or has the exalts gone down in value? Well, that's something we could also look at if we go over to Exalted Orbs by clicking here, and we look at the 3-month trend. Because the Exalt Orb is the main currency, it doesn't go up or down. We're working everything around the Exalted Orb. But in my eyes, when we look at everything, if we were to compare the Divine to whatever, it's actually the exalts going down and everything else is going up, because exalts are dropping endlessly, and it's probably the main currency that everyone's using to trade. See, as we've expanded the Perfect Jeweler's Orb, as we can see here, it does have quite a lot of ups and downs. Now, it is probably going to have more ups than downs recently, but if we do catch it, if you do catch it on one of these dips that it does have, definitely make sure to buy it. So definitely keep an eye out on this website, and if it ever drops under 300 exalts, make sure you are the first person to go and buy it, or if it's around the 300 exalts, and buy as many as you can. Convert them divines into exalts, buy these goddamn things, or just buy them with your divines, and then give it a week and just keep your eyes looking at the market, and it's going up, because every time it has its dip, it is increasing by 100 each time afterwards. And it's, if you bought them at 207, now you can sell them at 550, 300. You've got an extra divine per Perfect Jeweler's Orb. That is nuts. But anyway, that's enough about the currencies. Remember, this is going to be in the description down below. If we were to go and look at ultimatums as well, so you can kind of understand what to do if you want to do Trials of Chaos, completely up to you. But as Kappas are now at 710 exalts, or yeah, they're currently sitting at 710, and 6 hours ago you could buy one for 599. So that's a market that you definitely want to keep your eye on, because they do go up and down. Maybe when lots of people are online and they're farming, they have a massive dip. But once there's not so many people farming, well, then the price is going up. So it's completely up to you if you want to be a hideout warrior and keep an eye on these trends. And these are what's happening with the Soul of Cause. And because we're seeing that they're all really going up, apart from 2, one's had a massive dip. But as we can see, they're all going up. It might be a good way for you to farm currencies as well, by going back into the Trial of Chaos and start farming some of these Soul Cores and selling them. As we can see, a majority of them sell for about 10 exalts each. It's completely up to you. It's your time, and you can do what you want in whatever way you want. Now, moving over to the breaches, these have gone up in price, but not by a lot. And personally, this is something I would not invest in. These do drop heavily. You find them absolutely everywhere. And breaches, to me, the last thing you're really doing is upgrading your rings, and then certain ones just really have no value, whereas some obviously do, and we are seeing 400%. If you think I'm wrong, then let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be definitely down to hear what you think. Now, as we see yet again, like the other items, divines and that, we're seeing a massive trend looking at distilled emotions. That distilled isolation has gone up to over 500 exalts, and they were originally around the 260 mark just a day ago. So things like that have had a massive increase. And then we're seeing the likes of distilled greed. If you manage to buy a load of these, they've gone up in price by about 203%. Yeah, again, like I did say, if you are looking at this and you want to get a better picture, look at it and then look at over a month or 3 months, and then you can really see what's happening in the markets. They've never really had a massive spike. They're just steadily going up. Yeah, again, essences are kind of fluctuating up and down, so you might be able to hit it on a trend, but greater essences is not something I would personally invest in, because it is just so all over the place, too much up and down, where you could accidentally make a bad decision and lose quite a lot of money. So I wouldn't invest into essences. Yet again, something you might be able to do, but not for me. Breach splinters, simulacrum splinters, not something I would invest in yet again. I would go and farm them and sell them, completely fine. Moving over to expeditions, as we can see, the sun artifacts have gone up. These have all gone up, but they're still pennies, not worth our time. Moving over to rituals, now we're looking at the omen of sinistral erasure. If we did rituals and you managed to get yourself one of these, well, that's 15 divines, that's 14 divines, that's 14.6 divines, 12.5 divines. These things make money. So if we were to look at it like that, rather than doing the likes of simulacrum runs, if you did ritual runs and you get lucky, boy, oh boy, are you into some goddamn money. That might be the best way to make money in this game currently, is by doing rituals and farming these. Now, if you don't have all of the boss points from the rituals, you might be best off investing a little bit of money and paying someone a couple of divines to get you 2 points each time. So a couple divines, couple divines, just to increase what you can invest your points into, so you got 50% more chance of getting an audience of the king. And yet again, as we can see here by looking at the audience of the king, which we can't see on this list, but an audience of the king is sitting around the 8 divines, and I know it is definitely going up day by day. Moving over to runes, nah, the money is way too low. Looking at where my mouse is, we don't want to really bother investing into runes. Looking at maps, the maps have been going up, and this is selling. The audience with a king there, we can see it was selling for 8 divines, as I did mention, but you could have got one for 18-hour goes for 30 exalts. That's a bit crazy. That must have just been someone accidentally listed it up there. Just hit my microphone, sorry guys. But yeah, nothing is having a drastic change. The ancient crisis fragment, now looking at that bad boy, that's having a peak. That went from 80 all the way up to 195. Okay, fragments might be good, so maybe do the simulacrum citadel farm that I did the video on the other day. They are definitely having an increase. And then moving over to accessories, probably the topic that you all wanted to hear about. So on accessories, we can see here Calandra's touch has gone up by 30%. Looking at the numbers, we've got what, 580 divines for one. Oh lord, wow. I mean, the ring is absolutely goated, because once you've got this ring, all you need to do is find one more perfect ring, and then that ring mirrors that ring. So if you mirror craft a ring or buy the best ring you can get and pair it with this, where you got 2 of the best rings you can get with just having one ring plus the Calandra's touch. If you can get the Calandra's touch, god damn, you are in for some luck. How do we get the Calandra's touch? Well, yet again, we just click on this bad boy, and as we can see, the Calandra's touch can drop anywhere. So if you get this bad boy, do not sell it, use it. It is good. As I did mention earlier, Ingenuity is not going up in price. I must be wrong, because look at them numbers, it's gone up by 12,300%. I haven't been seeing this trend. Maybe at some point it did go up crazily, but I don't see the Ingenuity going up too much in price, because people are farming them endlessly and selling them, and I think the market is kind of steady and maybe dropping a little bit, or maybe that was because it was the weekend that I was seeing that trend. Yeah, I might be wrong there. But anyway, going down, also to let you know, on this site here at the bottom, I'm moving out of the way, but there's a little arrow here. It takes you over to the other side, the other page. So if you're seeing some items and you're not seeing them on there, then do that. And when you're on the next page, as we can see, everything's on 0%. So this is basically the uniques that I was mentioning that probably are good, but they're not being bought yet until people find a good use for them, whether it be a meta build or simply a use, and it gets shared. And then one of these, if you buy all of these now for 1 exalt, if someone makes a build of them, they will shoot up to 20, 30, 40, 50 divines. So my honest recommendation to you guys is buy every single unique, the best version of the one you can, that is sitting at 1 exalt right now or 10 exalt right now. And then eventually when someone does make a build of that, that will go up way past what you bought it for, and then you could either use it for 1 or you can sell it for a massive penny. There's even more when you go over to the next page as well. So me personally, I'm going to be going ahead and buying all of these uniques that are sitting at the 1 exalt, and hopefully they get a trend or a market trend where they go up to 100 divines or 20 or 30 divines, because that's where the money is, baby. So moving over to unique armor, because that was the unique accessories. Moving over to the unique armors, we can see that the temporalis is actually starting to go down in price. That is incorrect, because the temporalis was sitting at like 100 divines and it's gone up to 150. So yeah, if we make it a bigger picture and we show this is wrong. It's going up in price. Maybe it went down. This is only showing us our 32-hour chart. So take these numbers with a pinch of salt. The best thing to do is expand on it if you're seeing a market trend, and just see the overall trend, because yet again, this vertex here has gone down by 9.1%, the Queen of the Forest. If we click on it and we open up, expand it, it is actually going down. So yeah, definitely something that you wouldn't want to buy. You want to buy something that's steadily going up, and then hopefully it gets a good hit and it goes up even further. So interestingly enough as well, looking at this, we're seeing items that I wouldn't typically see. So we can see the Atziri's Acuity molded mitts right here are sitting at 100 exalts. It's not something that I would have looked at ever, but sitting at 100 exalts, they might be a decent item, and they might be bit slept on. As we see in here, they've got an increased armor, increased critical hit chance, intelligence increase, and leech from critical hits is instant. Is there some builds out there where people are regenerating their health or mana instantly using this build, but without letting us know? Maybe you want to get these, because there's only 30 of them. So in theory, if there are 100 exalts, you could make a monopoly by owning all of these and then selling them on. With the armor as well, as we can see, we can still hit the arrow just down here and move over to the next pages. Go ahead and buy all of these until a build happens. I would still strongly recommend getting all of the uniques, just in case there is a meta build. Like I said before, I know I sound like a broken record, but I want to tell you all the facts, or everything that's running through my brain, so you're completely messed up like me. Moving over, we look at the flasks. Well, flasks, the Orloff's Resolve is going up, and the Melting Maelstrom is going down. I don't think that is accurate. If we were to look at the chart, oh, it's accurate. Oh wow, so people are definitely farming that a lot. So that is accurate. I thought it was going up in value. So looking at that, it's put me down. The Olroth's definitely is going up in value. Holy moly. Jewels, what's happening? We got the From Nothing Diamond here. That has been increasing in value, but it's been going up and down, so I'm not too sure why it's been doing that. Don't buy that. We've got all of the other diamonds that we can see, the Prism of Beliefs and stuff. The Prism of Belief, I'm surprised that's so cheap. You know, this is quite hard to get, and it is quite cheap, but we don't really know the main reason of it. If we pull up the wiki just to have a look at the Prism of Belief, why is it so low? It gives 2 level of all random skills. Right, that's why, because you don't know what skill you're going to get. I bet the ones which are a specific skill cost a fortune, because you could probably make a skill ridiculously overpowered, but unless you get the right one, it's worth nothing. Moving over to the Sanctum, we have got the Last Flame. We can see the Desperate Alliance has been going up. The Relic, it's currently 3 divines, but the Last Flame is seen at 243 divines. The Zarok for the Eternal Drop Temporalis, maximum honor is 1. cannot be used with trials below level 80. This item is destroyed when applied to the trial. That, to me, is not actually worth it, because a Temporalis you could buy cheaper than that, and probably one of the better rolls, and this is completely lucky. Oh my god, people are paying a fortune for these. Maybe you want to try and wait till you see one of these cheap and then selling them on, or try and get the Temporalis yourself. Yeah, that is not worth it to me. Moving over to the weapons, that's a cool one to see. So we've seen this has had a huge increase, the Burden of Shadows Chiming Staff. Why is this having a massive increase? If we were to look at it, increased cast speed, skill mana cost converted to life cost, and skills gain 1% of damage as chaos damage per free life cost. We go over to the wiki and we look at it a little bit better. I have no clue why this is doing so well. You get it from the King of the Mist. Could that be the reason? But damn, that is going up like a wildfire. Maybe that's a weapon that you want to buy. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's complete random. If we were to look at the overall timeline, like I said, it is down and then it had a giant shoot up, but it stays down for a while. Maybe all the cheap ones got bought out. Anyway, guys, I could go ahead and talk about this all day, and I've spoke about it quite a lot. Guys, the currencies that I would be looking at mainly for me is buying all of the uniques that are sitting at 1 exalt for when maybe a build gets made around them, then they'll shoot up in price. And currencies, I will be looking at the overall trend, so looking at the perfect jeweler's orbs, for instance, and we're seeing that these are going up, but they do have dips. Try and buy them on their dips and then sell them on their highs. It's just common sense. Hopefully this helped, or at least it showed you a new website. I'm sorry that I spoke for so long. Like, follow, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.